Please, she whispered, her voice barely audible, the scent of expensive, unfamiliar perfume drifting across the table. Husband. Leo froze, blinking in confusion. I'm sorry. Her green eyes darted toward the rain-streaked window. Pretend I'm your wife, she repeated, her English precise but laced with a subtle European accent. There are men looking for me, dangerous men. If they think I'm just a married woman having lunch with her family, they'll pass by. Lily stared wide-eyed, Mr. Snuggles forgotten in her lap. Leo's protective instincts warred with a sudden surge of compassion. The fear in this stranger's eyes was raw, undeniable. Daddy, Lily whispered. Before Leo could respond, the woman's trembling hand closed over his. Her skin was soft but ice-cold, her grip desperate. My name is Isabella. Please, I'll explain everything later. But right now, I need you to trust me. Through the fog glass, headlights cut the rain. A sleek black car slid to the curb. Two grim-faced men in dark suits stepped out, their eyes sweeping the diner's interior. Isabella's grip tightened, knuckles white. They're here. The words froze Leo's blood. What happens next will change everything. Before we continue, make sure to hit subscribe so you don't miss what's about to unfold. The scent of stale coffee and sizzling bacon was as familiar to Leo as the ache in his shoulders. At 32, he'd worn the uniform of a struggling waiter for 5 years, ever since the accident that took his wife, Maria, and left him with a tiny, precious legacy. His daughter, Lily. Now the diner was his world. A tireless cycle of orders and tips that barely stretched to cover rent and Lily's ever-growing needs. The midday lull had settled, leaving a quiet hum in the air, the gentle clatter of dishes from the back, the low murmur of the radio. Daddy, can we share the chocolate milkshake? Lily's voice, a sweet melody, pulled him from his exhaustion. Her 7-year-old face, framed by dark curls like Maria's, held an earnestness that melted his heart. She clutched her worn teddy bear, Mr. Snuggles, a relic from her mother, against her chest. Of course, mi amor, Leo replied, his smile genuine despite the fatigue. These snatched moments during his break, sharing a booth by the window, were the true sustenance of his day. Just 30 minutes where he could be a father, not just a man perpetually worried about the next bill. Lily always chose the same booth, mesmerized by the bustling street outside, each passing car a new story. He'd brought her favorite, a simple cheese sandwich, cut into triangles, while he nursed a lukewarm coffee and a slice of day-old apple pie, a luxury he rarely afforded himself. Her happiness, however, was priceless. Tell me about the brave night again, Lily requested, her legs swinging beneath the table. Leo was about to begin his tale when the diner's bell chimed, announcing a new arrival. A woman, slender and elegant, entered, shaking droplets of rain from a cascade of chestnut hair. Her tailored suit looked like it belonged on a runway, not in a roadside diner. Her sharp, intelligent gray eyes scanned the nearly empty space, a flicker of desperation in their depths, before landing on their table. Without a moment's hesitation, she strode directly towards them, her expensive heels clicking a rapid rhythm against the worn linoleum. Leo instinctively tensed, pulling Lily closer. But the raw urgency in the woman's expression made him pause. She slid into their booth, uninvited, her proximity a jolt to his quiet world. Up close, he saw she was young, perhaps 28, with striking features and a kind of sophisticated beauty he only saw in magazines. Yet, her hand trembled as she reached across the table. Please, she whispered, her voice barely audible, the scent of expensive, unfamiliar perfume wafting over him. Husband. Leo blinked, confused. I'm sorry. Pretend I'm your wife, she repeated, her English precise, yet tinged with a subtle European accent. There are men looking for me, dangerous men. If they think I'm just a married woman having lunch with her family, they'll pass by. Lily stared, wide-eyed, Mr. Snuggles forgotten in her lap. Leo's protective instincts warred with a strange surge of compassion. The fear in this woman's eyes was undeniable, deeply unsettling. "Daddy," Lily whispered. Before Leo could respond, the woman's hand found his across the table. Her skin was cool, soft, her grip surprisingly strong. "My name is Isabella. Please, I'll explain everything. But right now, I need you to trust me." Through the rain-streaked window, Leo saw a sleek black car pull up, two grim-faced men in dark suits emerging, their eyes already sweeping the diner's interior. Isabella's grip on his hand tightened, her knuckles white. "They're here," she breathed. In that split second, Leo made a decision that felt both insane and inevitable. He squeezed Isabella's hand, leaning forward, a practiced smile on his face, playing the part of an attentive husband. "Lily, honey, say hello to Isabella. Isabella is a new friend." Lily, picking up on the adult tension with the uncanny intuition of a child, offered a shy smile. "Hi, Isabella. Do you like Mr. Snuggles?" Isabella's smile, though strained, was genuine as she looked at the little girl. "He's wonderful, Lily. What a brave bear." "He is," Lily confirmed. "Daddy says he's brave, just like Mommy was." Something flickered in Isabella's eyes, a flash of pain, of understanding. The men outside paused, their gazes sweeping the diner's interior. Leo forced himself to remain calm, cutting Lily's sandwich into smaller, more manageable pieces with practiced domesticity. One of the men pointed towards their table. Leo's blood ran cold, but Isabella, to his surprise, let out a light musical laugh, completely natural and disarming. She leaned in as if Leo had just shared an amusing anecdote, her performance flawless. "You're good at this," Leo murmured, impressed despite himself. "I've had practice," Isabella replied, her smile never wavering, even as her eyes tracked the men's movements. "Tell me about your daughter. Keep talking." "Lily's 7. She starts 2nd grade next month. She loves stories about brave knights and wants to be an astronaut when she grows up." The words flowed easily, his pride in Lily overriding his confusion. "An astronaut? That's wonderful." Isabella turned to Lily with genuine interest. "Do you have a telescope?" Lily shook her head sadly. "Daddy says we can't afford one yet, but someday, when he saves enough money, maybe we can get one." Leo felt a flush rise in his cheeks. Their financial struggles weren't something he liked to broadcast, especially to someone who clearly had no such worries. Isabella studied his face for a moment, and he saw understanding, not pity. Recognition of a shared burden, perhaps. "Sometimes the best things in life are worth waiting for," she told Lily gently. The men outside had moved on, disappearing down the street, but Isabella didn't immediately release Leo's hand. Instead, she seemed to study both him and Lily with a curious intensity. "Thank you," she said finally, her voice soft. "You saved my life." "I don't understand what's happening here," Leo admitted, his voice low. "Who were those men? Why are they after you?" Isabella glanced around the diner, ensuring they were alone, save for old Sal, the cook, who was engrossed in a crossword puzzle in the back. "It's complicated. My family, they have certain expectations. Arrangements they want me to fulfill. I've been running from those expectations for 4 days now." "Arrangements?" Leo's jaw tightened. "You mean like an arranged marriage?" "Something like that." Isabella's laugh was bitter. "Though it's more about business than marriage. My family sees me as a commodity to be traded. Lily, who had been listening with the intense focus children brought to adult conversations they sensed were important, suddenly spoke up. My daddy would never trade me. He says I'm his greatest treasure. Isabella's composure cracked for just a moment, her eyes brightening with unshed tears. Your daddy is very wise, Lily. Leo studied Isabella's face, noting the exhaustion beneath her polished exterior, the fear she was trying so hard to hide. Against his better judgment, he found himself wanting to help her. Look, I don't know who you are or what kind of trouble you're in, but this diner isn't exactly a safe haven. Those men might come back. You're right. Isabella straightened, her businesslike demeanor returning. I should go. I've already put you and Lily in enough danger. She started to slide out of the booth, but Lily's small hand shot out to stop her. Wait, you can't go yet. You haven't finished your story. What story, sweetheart? Isabella asked, confused. Every princess has a story. Daddy tells me stories about brave princesses all the time. What's your story? Isabella looked helplessly between Lily's expectant face and Leo's concerned expression. It's not a very happy story, Lily. The best stories start sad but end happy, Lily declared with 7-year-old certainty. Daddy taught me that. Leo felt something shift in his chest as he watched this mysterious woman struggle with his daughter's innocent question. Despite every rational thought telling him to walk away, he heard himself saying, Lily's right. Why don't you start at the beginning? Isabella's gray eyes met his, and in them, he saw a loneliness that mirrored his own. The beginning? She repeated softly. I'm not sure I remember where that is anymore. Outside, thunder rumbled ominously, and the rain began to fall harder against the windows. In the warm glow of the diner's lights, 3 unlikely souls found themselves at the start of something that would change all their lives forever. But none of them could have predicted the secret that Lily carried. A secret that would soon put them all in more danger than Isabella's mysterious pursuers ever could. Isabella glanced around the diner once more before settling back into the booth. My name is Isabella Rossi, she began, her voice barely above a whisper. And I suppose you could say I'm running from my own family. Leo's eyebrows rose. Rossi? As in Rossi Global? The shipping and logistics conglomerate. Yes. Isabella's fingers traced patterns on the table surface. My grandfather built an empire. My father expanded it. And now they expect me to marry into it, to solidify a new alliance. Lily, who had been quietly listening while drawing on a napkin with a crayon from her small backpack, looked up with serious blue eyes. But you don't want to marry someone you don't love? Isabella smiled sadly at the little girl's simple understanding. No, Lily, I don't. But in my family, love is considered a luxury we can't afford. Leo felt a familiar anger stir in his chest. The same anger he'd felt when his own family had cut him off for choosing love over their expectations. So you ran. 4 days ago, I was supposed to attend a gala where my engagement to Marco Bianchi, heir to Bianchi Shipping, would be formally announced. Our families have been planning this merger for years. Isabella's hands clenched into fists. I couldn't do it, so I took what cash I could gather and disappeared. But they found you, Leo observed. My father hired private investigators. Those men you saw, they work for him. He wants me back before tomorrow's signing ceremony where the deal is to be finalized. Lily had stopped coloring and was staring at Isabella with the intensity only children could muster. You're like Princess Andromeda, she said suddenly. Andromeda? Isabella asked, confused. She was trapped by her family and going to be given to a sea monster. But she escaped and found her own brave hero. Lily's young voice carried surprising wisdom. Daddy says freedom is the most important thing, even if it's scary. Leo felt his throat tighten. He told Lily that story after one of her nightmares about Maria, trying to explain why sometimes people had to make hard choices. He hadn't realized she'd understood it so deeply. Your daughter is remarkable, Isabella told Leo, her voice filled with wonder. She gets that from her mother? Leo replied automatically, then felt the familiar pang of loss. Maria was the strongest person I knew. She taught me that love means letting someone choose their own path, even when it terrifies you. Something in Isabella's expression softened. What happened to her? Car accident. 5 years ago. Leo's voice was steady, but Lily reached over and squeezed his hand in a gesture of comfort that broke his heart every time. Lily was only 2. She barely remembers her mother, but she has Maria's spirit. Isabella was quiet for a long moment, studying their joined hands. I'm sorry. Losing someone you love. I can't imagine. The worst part wasn't losing her, Leo admitted, surprising himself with his honesty. It was realizing how alone we really were. Maria's family never approved of me. I was just a waiter, not good enough for their daughter. And my family, well, they made their feelings clear when I chose love over their plans for my life. Isabella's eyes widened with recognition. They disowned you? Cut me off completely when I married Maria instead of the lawyer's daughter they'd picked out. Leo shrugged, though the old wound still ached. Turned out to be the best decision I ever made, even if it meant struggling financially. But you had love? Lily piped up, her 7-year-old logic cutting straight to the heart of things. That's better than money. Isabella stared at the little girl, as if she'd just revealed the secrets of the universe. You really believe that? Daddy says, love makes everything better, even when we're sad or scared or don't have very much money for toys. Lily's matter-of-fact tone made her words even more profound. Leo watched Isabella's face transform as Lily spoke. The fear and desperation were still there, but something else was emerging. Hope, maybe, or possibility. Lily, Isabella said slowly, what do you think someone should do if they're trapped like Andromeda, but they're scared of the monster? Lily considered this seriously, her brow furrowed in concentration. Well, Andromeda was scared, too, but she decided that staying trapped was worse than facing the monster. And you know what? Her brave hero came, and they fought the monster together. Isabella's laugh was shaky, but genuine. You think I can find a brave hero? Maybe not a fighting hero, Lily giggled. But Daddy says when you're brave enough to jump, sometimes you find out you had help all along. Leo felt his chest swell with pride and love for his daughter. At 7 years old, she possessed a wisdom that humbled him daily. Your father is a very smart man, Isabella told Lily, but her eyes were on Leo as she spoke. The moments stretched between them, charged with something Leo couldn't quite name. Then Isabella's phone buzzed, shattering the intimacy. Her face went pale as she read the message. They know I'm in this area, she whispered. My father's offering a substantial reward for information about my whereabouts. Someone must have seen me come in here. Leo whistled low. What kind of reward? Enough to tempt anyone who's struggling financially. Isabella's eyes met his meaningfully. Like a single father working double shifts to support his daughter. The implication hung in the air between them. Leo could feel Isabella testing him, waiting to see if he would choose the money over her trust. For a moment he was tempted. The amount she was probably talking about could change his and Lily's lives forever. But then he looked at Lily, who was watching him with complete faith in her blue eyes, and he knew there was really no choice at all. How long do you think we have? He asked. Isabella's relief was palpable. Maybe an hour before they start going door to door. I need to keep moving, but I can't go back to my hotel. They'll be watching it. And where will you go? I don't know. I've never been on my own before. Not really. I've always had drivers, assistants, security teams handling the details of my life. Isabella's laugh was bitter. Turns out being raised in a gilded cage doesn't teach you much about surviving in the real world. Lily had been listening intently, and now she tugged on Leo's sleeve. Daddy, can I talk to you? Leo leaned down as Lily cupped her hands around her mouth to whisper in his ear. Her words were so quiet that Isabella couldn't hear, but Leo's eyebrows shot up in surprise. Are you sure, sweetheart? He murmured back. Lily nodded solemnly. She's scared like I was when the monsters came in my dreams. You helped me feel safe. We should help her, too. Leo straightened, his heart pounding. What Lily was suggesting was crazy, dangerous, potentially life-changing. But as he looked at Isabella, really looked at her, he saw past the designer clothes and perfect makeup to the frightened young woman underneath. "Isabella," he said slowly, "Lily has a suggestion." Isabella turned to the little girl with curious eyes. "What is it, sweetheart?" Lily's voice was small but determined. "You could stay with us, just until you figure out how to be brave." Isabella's mouth fell open. "Lily, that's very kind, but I couldn't impose." "It's not imposing if we want to help," Leo interrupted, his decision made. "We have a small apartment above Mr. Henderson's bookstore. It's not much, but it's safe. And Mr. Henderson minds his own business." "You barely know me," Isabella protested. "I could be dangerous. I'm definitely trouble." "So was Andromeda." "Probably," Lily said matter-of-factly. "But that doesn't mean she didn't deserve help." Leo felt something shift inside his chest as he watched Isabella struggle with their offer. "Look, I know this is crazy, but Lily's right. You need somewhere safe to figure out your next move. And he paused, surprised by his own words. "We could use some new stories in our lives." Isabella's eyes filled with tears she was clearly trying not to shed. "Why would you do this for a complete stranger?" "Because," Lily said, reaching across the table to pat Isabella's hand with startling gentleness, "sometimes strangers are just friends we haven't met yet." Outside, the storm was growing stronger, rain lashing against the windows with increasing intensity. In the warm circle of light surrounding their table, three people who had been alone in their struggles found themselves contemplating a leap of faith that would bind their destinies together. But hidden in the shadows across the street, someone was watching them through the rain-streaked glass, waiting for the perfect moment to close in on their prey. The walk to Leo's apartment took 15 minutes through back alleys and side streets, with Isabella's designer heels clicking awkwardly on wet pavement. She'd insisted on paying for their lunch and left a generous tip that made Sal's eyes widen. But Leo noticed she did it discreetly, without making him feel small. Lily held Isabella's hand as they navigated puddles, chattering about the different things they passed. A stray cat that reminded her of the kitten she wanted, pigeons that made her think of dragons, a dog walker whose golden retriever looked friendly. Isabella listened with genuine attention, asking questions that made Lily glow with importance. "That's Mr. Henderson's bookstore," Leo said as they approached a narrow brick building squeezed between a dry cleaner and a small bakery. "We live upstairs. It's not fancy." "It's perfect," Isabella interrupted, gazing up at the modest building with something like wonder. "I've never lived anywhere that wasn't designed by professional decorators." Leo led them up the external staircase to their second-floor apartment. The key stuck slightly in the lock, a quirk he'd been meaning to fix for months, but finally yielded. He pushed open the door and felt his usual mixture of pride and embarrassment as Isabella stepped inside. The apartment was small but clean, with mismatched furniture that told stories of thrift store finds and hand-me-downs. Lily's artwork covered the refrigerator, and her toys were neatly organized in colorful plastic bins. Sunlight streamed through windows that Leo had scrubbed spotless, illuminating the tiny space with warmth. "Oh," Isabella breathed, moving slowly through the living room. "It's beautiful." Leo blinked in surprise. "Beautiful? It's a home," Isabella explained, running her fingers along the back of their second-hand sofa. "Everything has meaning, purpose. These pictures." She paused at a collage of photographs showing Lily at various ages, Leo's arms around her in each one. "You can feel the love in every corner." Lily beamed at the compliment and immediately began showing Isabella around like a tiny tour guide. "This is our kitchen where Daddy makes the best spaghetti in the world. And this is my room where I keep Mr. Snuggles and all my books. And this is Daddy's room, but you can't go in there because it's private, unless there's an emergency, like when I had a nightmare about the scary movie at Clara's house and—" "Lily, breathe," Leo laughed, catching his daughter before she could continue her run-on sentence. "Why don't you show Isabella your book collection while I make some tea?" As Lily dragged Isabella toward her room, Leo found himself alone in the kitchen, trying to process what had just happened. In the span of 2 hours, He'd gone from struggling single father to harboring a fugitive heiress. The rational part of his mind screamed that this was insane, that he was putting Lily in danger for a woman he'd just met. But the larger part of him, the part that had fallen in love with Maria despite his family's objections, recognized something in Isabella that called to his protective instincts. She wasn't just running from an arranged marriage. She was fighting for the right to choose her own life, the same battle he'd fought years ago. "Mr. Snuggles says you're very pretty," he heard Lily tell Isabella from the other room. "He's a good judge of character. Daddy says so." Isabella's laughter was warm and genuine. "Well, please tell Mr. Snuggles I said thank you. That's a very nice compliment. He also says you smell like flowers, but sad flowers, like the ones on Mommy's grave." Leo froze, tea scoop halfway to the teapot. Trust Lily to go straight to the heart of things. Sad flowers. Isabella's voice was gentle. You know, pretty but lonely, like they miss the sunshine. Lily's 7-year-old logic was sometimes uncomfortably perceptive. Daddy used to smell like sad flowers, too, after Mommy died, but he smells better now. Happy sad, if that makes sense. "It makes perfect sense," Isabella said softly. "Sometimes we carry sadness with us, even when we're trying to be happy." Leo finished making tea and brought 2 mugs to the living room, finding Isabella and Lily sitting on the floor surrounded by picture books. Isabella had kicked off her expensive heels and was reading aloud from a story about a young girl who used her cleverness to save her village. "This girl is smart," Isabella observed, showing Lily an illustration of the heroine outsmarting a cunning merchant. "She doesn't wait for someone else to rescue her." "Daddy says the best heroes are the ones who save themselves," Lily agreed. "But sometimes it's okay to accept help from friends." Isabella's eyes met Leo's over Lily's head, and he saw gratitude and something deeper there, a connection that made his pulse quicken. "Your daughter is extraordinary," Isabella murmured as Lily wandered off to find another book. "She has her moments," Leo agreed, settling onto the couch. "She's been through a lot for someone so young, but she has this amazing ability to find hope in everything. She gets that from you. Actually, I think I'm learning it from her." Leo handed Isabella a mug, their fingers brushing in the transfer. "After Maria died, I was drowning. Lily saved me by needing me to be strong for her." Isabella studied his face. "And now I'm grateful every day for the chance to be her father, even when it's terrifying and exhausting, and I have no idea what I'm doing." "You're doing everything right," Isabella said firmly. "Lily feels completely safe with you, loved, protected. Do you know how rare that is?" Something in her tone made Leo look at her more closely. "You didn't feel safe growing up?" Isabella's laugh was hollow. "Safety in my family meant following the rules, meeting expectations, never questioning the plan. Love was conditional on obedience." She paused, watching Lily arrange her books in careful stacks. "I was raised by nannies and tutors, groomed for marriage to strengthen business alliances. My father taught me to speak 5 languages, play piano, manage a household staff, and charm investors at dinner parties. But no one ever asked what I wanted, what I dreamed about." "What do you dream about?" Leo asked quietly. Isabella was silent for so long that he thought she wouldn't answer. When she finally spoke, her voice was barely a whisper. "Freedom. The chance to make my own choices, even if they're mistakes. I want to fail at something I chose rather than succeed at something I was forced into. That's not too much to ask. My family thinks it is. They think I'm selfish, ungrateful. Maybe they're right." "They're not right," Lily's voice piped up from across the room. She'd been listening while pretending to organize her books. "Wanting to choose your own life isn't selfish. It's brave." Isabella's eyes filled with tears. "How did you get so wise, little one?" "Daddy reads me lots of stories. They teach you about being brave and making good choices, and how love is the most important thing." Leo felt his heart swell with pride. But before he could respond, Isabella's phone buzzed again. Her face went pale as she read the message. "They're offering 75,000 euros now," she whispered, "for information leading to my location." Leo whistled low. That kind of money would solve every financial problem he had. Pay for Lily's college education. Give them security he'd only dreamed of. That's a lot of money, he said carefully. Isabella nodded, her expression resigned. Enough to change your life. I understand if you've changed your mind about helping me. Lily looked between them with serious eyes, clearly sensing the tension. Daddy, what's wrong? Leo knelt down to Lily's eye level. Some people are looking for Isabella, sweetheart. They're offering money to anyone who tells them where she is. Lily's brow furrowed. But that would be telling on her. That's tattling. It's more complicated than that, mi amor. That money could help us a lot. We could get you that telescope you want. Maybe even move to a bigger apartment. Lily considered this seriously, her 7-year-old mind working through the moral complexity. Finally, she looked up at Isabella. Are you a bad person? I don't think so, Isabella answered honestly. But some people think I am because I won't do what they want me to do. Do you want to hurt anybody? No, never. Lily nodded decisively and turned back to Leo. Then we shouldn't tell on her. Money isn't more important than helping someone who's scared. Leo felt something break open in his chest. A flood of love and pride that left him speechless. His 7-year-old daughter had just solved a moral dilemma that had been tearing him apart. You're absolutely right, sweetheart, he managed, his voice thick with emotion. Isabella was staring at Lily as if she'd just witnessed a miracle. I don't deserve this kindness. Everyone deserves kindness, Lily said matter-of-factly. That's what Mommy used to say. Right, Daddy? Right, Leo agreed, his decision made. Isabella, you can stay as long as you need to. We'll figure this out together. Isabella's composure finally cracked, tears spilling down her cheeks. Thank you, both of you. I promise I'll find a way to repay this somehow. Lily walked over and patted Isabella's knee with gentle sympathy. You don't have to pay us back. That's what friends do. They help each other. As Isabella pulled Lily into a grateful hug, Leo felt something shift in the very foundations of his world. They were no longer just 3 separate people thrown together by circumstance. They were becoming something more, something that felt dangerously like a family. But outside their small sanctuary, forces were mobilizing that would test their newfound bond in ways none of them could imagine. And hidden in Lily's innocent wisdom lay a secret that would soon change everything they thought they knew about destiny, family, and the true meaning of home. Isabella woke to the sound of Lily's laughter drifting through the thin apartment walls. For a moment, she forgot where she was, expecting to see the silk curtains and marble surfaces of her penthouse suite. Instead, she found herself on Leo's second-hand sofa, covered by a handmade quilt that smelled faintly of cinnamon and childhood memories. 5 days had passed since she'd first entered their lives, and the Rossi family search had intensified. Private investigators canvassed the neighborhood daily, but Leo's choice to help her had created an unexpected sanctuary. More than that, it had given her the first taste of genuine family life she'd ever experienced. Good morning, sleepyhead. Leo's voice was warm as he emerged from the kitchen carrying a steaming mug of coffee. He'd gotten into the habit of making her coffee exactly how she liked it, black with just a hint of sugar without her ever having to ask twice. Morning. Isabella smiled, accepting the mug gratefully. I still can't believe how easily I sleep here. I haven't slept through the night in years. That's what safety feels like, Lily announced, appearing in the doorway wearing mismatched pajamas and dragging Mr. Snuggles behind her. Right, Daddy? Leo ruffled his daughter's hair affectionately. Right, sweetheart. How about we make Isabella some of our famous pancakes? As they moved into the small kitchen, Isabella marveled at their easy rhythm. Leo and Lily worked together like a well-choreographed dance, Lily measuring ingredients while Leo heated the griddle, both of them unconsciously accommodating each other's movements in the cramped space. Isabella, can you help me crack the eggs? Lily asked, patting the stool beside her. Daddy says I'm getting better, but sometimes the shells get mixed in. I'd love to, Isabella replied, surprised by how much she meant it. In her world, breakfast was prepared by staff and served on china that cost more than most people's monthly salary. This chaotic, flour-dusted kitchen felt more real than anything she'd ever known. As they cooked together, Lily chattered about her upcoming first day of second grade, her excitement palpable. Miss Sanchez sent a letter saying we're going to learn about space and dinosaurs and how to read big words, and there's a reading corner with bean bags. That sounds wonderful, Isabella said, but she noticed Leo's expression tighten slightly. Leo, what's wrong? Leo hesitated, focusing intently on flipping a pancake. Nothing's wrong. Just first day nerves, I guess. But Lily, with her uncanny ability to sense adult emotions, looked up at her father with knowing eyes. Daddy's worried about the money for school supplies. Lily, Leo warned gently. It's okay, Daddy. Isabella is our friend now. Friends help each other. Remember? Lily turned to Isabella with matter-of-fact confidence. The list has lots of things on it. Daddy says we'll get everything eventually, but maybe not all at once. Isabella felt something twist in her chest. She was wearing a single bracelet worth more than Leo's annual salary, while this good man worried about buying his daughter crayons and notebooks. What if I helped with the school supplies? Isabella offered carefully. As a thank you for letting me stay here? Leo's jaw tightened. That's not necessary. We manage fine. I know you do, but I want to help. Please. Lily looked between them with the serious expression she wore when navigating adult emotions. Daddy, when someone wants to give you a present, it's polite to say thank you. Remember when Mrs. Rodriguez from downstairs brought us soup when I was sick? Leo's resistance crumbled under his daughter's logic. That's different, mi amor. How is it different? Lily asked with genuine curiosity. Leo struggled for an answer that wouldn't hurt Isabella's feelings while maintaining his pride. Isabella watched him wrestle with accepting help, recognizing the same stubborn independence that had driven her to run from her family's control. Leo, she said softly, I need you to understand something. For the past 5 days, you and Lily have given me something I've never had, a real home. Let me give something back. Not because you need it, but because I want to. Lily clapped her hands together. See, Isabella wants to give us a present because we're friends. Leo looked at Isabella for a long moment, and she saw the exact moment his defenses softened. Okay, but nothing extravagant. Just the basic supplies. Deal, Isabella agreed, though she was already planning to do much more than the basics. They finished breakfast in comfortable companionship, but their peace was shattered when Isabella's phone rang. The caller ID made her blood freeze. Father, I have to take this, she whispered, moving toward the bedroom for privacy. Isabella Sofia Rossi. Her father's voice was ice-cold through the speaker. Do you have any idea what your little rebellion has cost our family? Hello, Father. I'm fine. Thank you for asking. Don't be flippant. The Bianchi deal is falling apart. Marco is threatening to walk away if you don't return immediately. 20 years of negotiations ruined because you decided to play at being independent. Isabella closed her eyes, feeling the familiar weight of family expectations settling over her shoulders. I'm not playing at anything. I'm trying to live my own life. Your life. Alessio Rossi's laugh was harsh. Everything you are, everything you have, exists because of this family. You've been educated, groomed, and positioned for this exact moment. And you're throwing it away for what? A childish fantasy about love. Maybe I am, but it's my choice to make. Choices have consequences. Isabella, if you're not back by tomorrow evening, I'll cut off your trust fund, revoke your company positions, and ensure you never work in any industry where Rossi Global has influence, which, as you know, is considerable. The threat hung in the air like a blade. Isabella had always known this moment would come, but hearing it spoken aloud still felt like a physical blow. You would destroy your own daughter's life to force a business deal? I would save my daughter from making the biggest mistake of her life. You think you understand the world, but you've never lived in it without our protection. You'll be back within a week, begging for forgiveness. The line went dead, leaving Isabella staring at her phone with shaking hands. Through the thin walls, she could hear Leo and Lily cleaning up breakfast, their easy laughter a sharp contrast to the cold reality her father had just delivered. When she emerged from the bedroom, Leo took one look at her face and immediately moved closer. What happened? My father knows I'm still in the city. He's escalating things. Isabella sank onto the sofa, feeling suddenly exhausted. He's threatening to cut me off completely if I don't return by tomorrow night.